Hello, my name is Jonathan Russell, and thank you for joining me for my Capstone project presentation. This presentation goes over the Capstone proposal and implementation of that proposal that I completed for the 2017 through the 2019 school years. Before we get into the Capstone proposal, here's a little bit of information about myself. I am currently a second grade teacher at Amana Academy in Fulton County. I have been teaching for 4 years and I'll be entering my 5th year. I am currently on the school improvement team as well as the leadership team that helps integrate technology and support teachers around the building. I got my undergrad in early childhood education from Kennesaw State University, and I am currently a part of this master's program. The title of my capstone proposal is Utilization and Integration of Smart Boards in the Classroom. At Hawthorne Elementary School, every classroom has a smart board or an active board in the room. However, many teachers did not receive training on how to manipulate the software and the equipment in the room. They do not have the skills to navigate or create engaging lessons, and they lack professional development to successfully utilize those smartboards in the classroom. The teachers at Hawthorne Elementary School need more professional development and one-on-one support to better integrate the smartboard technology and to make lessons that are more engaging and critically challenging for the students. And they need more training on how to implement more digital tools in the classroom that are current and relevant to the teaching and the students in their classroom. Here is some of the research on smartboard integration into the classroom. There is a lot of research that says that bringing smartboard technology into the classroom increases clarity of instruction and greater success, that students can use it in small group settings and where they can be completely engaged and understand the content that they're being asked to use. It helps them with visual, auditorial, and tactile functions as they have to manipulate the board in different ways. They conducted research with students and teachers alike, and so they have multiple vantage points and they have the information coming from both areas to show that technology and smartboard integration is a vital tool to use in the classroom. I had planned on implementing the capstone during the 2017-2018 and the 2018-2019 school years. The project began in February of 2018 and it concluded in March of 2019. The project involved math and English language arts teachers, and the activities were conducted during the professional development sessions, and they included learning about and integrating smartboard tools, resources, classroom observations, and um, reflections with the teachers. Like I mentioned, the project started in February of 2018. This is where I started conducting research on peer-reviewed articles on smartboard integration, started researching and collecting resources to provide to teachers during the professional development sessions and one-on-one sessions, and I conducted a pre-survey during this time. In March, I created the rubrics to assess the observations, and starting in August, I started the professional development sessions. We had 4 different sessions during this time frame. We also reviewed the pre-survey with the group, and we started diving into basic and advanced smartboard integration methods and practices. Beginning in October through November of 2018, I started conducting one-on-one sessions with teachers to help them create more personalized lessons tailored to their classroom and the needs of their students. This is where we began differentiating the lessons and really connecting and engaging with the content that they specifically needed. In January and February, I conducted the teacher observations and reflected with those teachers on how their observations and how their lessons went. It was all constructive feedback. It was focused on how they felt personally about the activities and if their students were engaged and critically applying themselves with the lessons. And in March of 2019, I conducted a post-survey to see how teachers felt after the professional development and the year process. And I also completed a self-reflection on how I felt the project went overall. The target of this capstone was to increase student critical thinking and engagement during the lesson through smartboard integration and utilization. And the way that I evaluated the success of this was through the pre-survey and post-survey, seeing how teachers addressed the content and integrated the smartboards into the classrooms through the coaching session rubrics and the classroom observation rubrics and feedback from the teachers that happened during those timeframes. Professional development and instructional coaching sessions were successful during the 2018-2019 school year. Teachers' levels of technology and smartboard integration was increased overall. Student engagement and rigor level increased with the smartboard integration, and teachers can now provide students with authentic blended learning activities through smartboard usage. This is the data from the pre-survey. I asked the teachers 6 questions on their level of comfort with technology, how often they use technology in the classroom, who uses technology in the classroom, um, how often they use the smartboards in the classroom, these kind of questions. And smartboards are primarily being used by the teachers in the classroom. I was not surprised by this because of the lack of training. From what I noticed, it seemed like teachers were using smartboards mainly as a projector with PowerPoints, which is videos on the board. They weren't really making them engaging and interactive. It's also important to note that teachers had to share some technology in the upper grades, so they did not have technology every day in the classroom, so students were not able to access um, all the technology. However, the smartboards were available in everyone's classrooms every day of the week. On these questions, I asked the teachers how confident they felt with their ability to integrate smartboard lessons into the classroom, if they considered themselves experts or novices with the technology, the smartboards in the classroom, and how often they're using technology to engage students in learning. So most teachers said they're using technology multiple times a week, which is really good to see. That's a positive thing. 59% of teachers felt that they were somewhat experts with the smartboards, so not really all the way there, not really at the bottom either. They have some experience with them. They feel like they have a decent grasp on smartboards. And 7 out of 12 teachers felt somewhat confident with their abilities to integrate smartboard lessons into the classroom, um, which is interesting because with the amount of help that the teachers needed, it was a little bit different from what they said on the survey. So maybe they felt a little more confident and then realized that they were not as um, confident with the smartboard technology as they thought they were. On this page, I provided some of the examples that teachers created and some of the really cool activities that they would manage to integrate into their classroom. This is not all of the activities that were created. I just thought that these two were more outstanding, and so I selected them. The first one is the gumball machine with graphing. So the students and the teacher had to count and then manipulate the graph on the side and show how many different color gumballs were in the gumball machine. She made this completely random as well, so that was really cool to see how it changed every single time. So students were able to use this in small group settings as well as in large group setting. And the next two are from the same third grade classroom where it is a lesson on contractions. The first far right one is a matching, so the students were able to see the contraction up front and get familiar with the um, skill. And then the one in the middle is a timer where it says the question. So it has it is, and then they had to make that contraction with the random letters off in the box as well. It had a timer and it gave the students points, and so that it was a very involved and very in-depth creation that this teacher was able to come up with. On this page, I have the classroom observation examples from the slides that we just saw. So on the left, we have the third grade teacher that provided the contraction activity, and on the right, we have the kindergarten lesson. It has feedback. It shows how long I was in there. I typically stayed for about 30 minutes, so I could see some center rotations and a mini lesson from the teacher to really gauge how engaged and how the students applied their critical thinking to discover the content. The next two slides are the post survey that I conducted with the same teacher group. It is the same questions as the pre survey, so I could see how they felt they progressed through the professional development in the sessions and the lessons. As you can tell, teachers were much more confident with their ability to use technology in the classroom. Classrooms were implementing more technology multiple times a week, and more students were actively engaged in the smartboard usage in the classroom. The only one that did not change is the amount of access that teachers had to technology. That did not change during the school year. And again, on this slide, we can see that teachers' confidence with the smartboard technology definitely increased. They felt that they were closer to being experts with the smartboards in the classroom. They were able to create engaging and critically applicable lessons for the students, and they were more confident in their ability to make meaningful smartboard lessons in the classroom. Here are some of the challenges and obstacles I had to overcome while completing my capstone. I switched schools in 2018, this past year, so I had to regain permission to complete the capstone at the new school, and I had to build a new rapport with teachers. Um, Something that I did not consider at first was scheduling observations was a little bit tricky just because of overlapping in schedules with the teachers and when I was able to come and see the lessons. And I needed to give teachers more templates and guidance when it came to navigating the software. They were not as adept at using the smartboard tools that were already readily available, so that was something that I needed to overcome. I learned a lot about myself as a professional and as a leader during this capstone. This capstone gave me a lot of valuable experience as a leader, a coach, and working with adults when it came to professional development. I learned that new concepts sometimes come with resistance from teachers who are unsure of what they're doing or um, unsure of how to approach something. So there's always going to be a little bit of pushback from students who feel like they might fail. And it's a great opportunity to support them and help them grow as professionals as well. I learned that building authentic relationships with the teachers is going to lead to better reports with them and giving them a better product because they're going to be more willing to collaborate. And I learned the importance of providing feedback in a positive manner and sticking to the facts of the observation and giving constructive criticism to avoid any conflict with those teachers. And finally, we have the reference page for all the materials that I used during my capstone. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and thank you very much for joining me today.